Hey everyone, this is Scottagorn with another replay, coming to you from February 6th on a 4v4 map, Excalibur. Looking at the teams, we have Scottagorn up top on the right side as GLA Stealth. Across the hill from him is STM, China Tank. Down here is Skippy, another GLA Stealth. And down on the bottom for the right team is Mike, he is USA Laser. Across this hill from Mike is Spiff in the pink, he will be USA Air Force. Next to him is Hard Army in the blue, GLA Vanilla. Next to him is Pancake in the orange, USA Laser. And up top is SS, USA Vanilla in the purple. So down here at the bottom we're going to have an interesting matchup. Mike is already sending his dozer to the middle. He's also got a spy drone there to see if Spiff's there yet. This is going to be Mike's laser defense turret that he's putting up. Spiff sees it and decides to back up out of harm's way. He knows he's not going to be able to get a defense up before that laser turret finishes. Laser turrets and fire bases and Patriot missile systems all finish in the same amount of time. It takes them all the same amount of time to build, so he decides to back up and bunker up around his base on his hill. But being USA Air Force, that's okay. Air Force usually wants to bunker up and keep things close to home anyway. Spiff already has the airfield up. Looks like his first strategy is going to be going over the top instead of trying to fight over land for those supplies. In the middle, what we're going to be watching is Skippy and the Mountain and seeing how they contend with this hard army bringing in loads and troops over the middle. We don't see any troops coming up from Pancake. It looks like he is also going to bunker off a little bit and keep close to home. He's building his strategy center already, which is very quick it seems, but not going to be fighting for that middle. SS also going to be keeping it close to home, so this right-hand team is going to have access to the entire middle of the map. Usually there's a line right down the middle where everybody lines up on the other sides of the bridge and fights each other for them, but this right-hand team is going to have all the space starting off the game. Spiff already bringing in a King Raptor, and he must have taken out a dozer there. Got right by that laser turret, but Mike, cheeky enough to bring the other dozer in and finish it. So this matchup down here is an interesting one. Mike is known for his early game rush. He's very good at taking out people in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game. Sometimes he forgets to build a supply center. That's okay. But very good in that early game. Spiff, more of a late game specialist. He's not known for someone who rushes out and tries to take real estate early. But if you leave him alone and let him build up that economy of his, he will bring in massive loads of troops later in the game. Spiff now deciding to take his Raptor over and focus on the oils. Probably does not see Skippy's 2 stinger sights there. They are automatically stealthed as GLA Stealth. So Spiff smartly focusing on economy or attacking economy early on. It just doesn't quite work. And Mike doing some of those early game rush tactics like he's known for. Bringing a couple units over to this garrison, and the very least that he's going to accomplish here is have Spiff destroy what really can be considered his own garrison there. Those 2 missile defenders aren't going to be enough to take out any Patriot missile systems, but they will cause some distraction. So Spiff used to be a little more active in the group than he is today, and he's got some pretty good stats. He is the #1 all-time median supplies collector in our group. He's #2 for units destroyed, and he's #3 for buildings destroyed, for median buildings destroyed. So he's got quite the resume here. We'll see how he does versus Mike's early game. The Mountain and Skippy consolidating over here. It looks like they've already had a couple of run-ins with Hard Army. And now it's going to be up to Skippy to hold this line further to the south. Mike is still facing off against Spiff, consolidating this hill. He's got the supply up, got Rangers ready to capture the oils, but maybe doesn't have the capture upgrade yet. Scottagorn's going to get this whole northern hill uncontested. SS hasn't sent anything out against him. He's got the oil on the left, oil on the right, supply in the middle, and he even has that oil down below as well. So he's got a couple extra arms dealers up and running already. And Skippy's even going to capture that oil across the river too. So this right-hand team capturing a lot of real estate early on. As long as the Mountain and Skippy can hold off those early pushes from Hard Army, which can be really challenging, they've got a good position. And they're looking pretty strong. A couple stinger sites, a bunker that has units in it, and a garrison with units. That's exactly what you want to do against those Hard Army pushes. So we're seeing a particle uplink cannon already, only 2.5 minutes left on that one. Very quick, that one's from Pancake. And sometimes Hard Army elects to just drive around defenses, and they can drive right into your base if you're not careful, but Skippy's got more than stinger sights. He's also got a quad cannon and some technicals there to slow them down. Spiff is going to come over the top at the same time, as well as Pancake, so they all coordinated that attack with Hard Army. And it does have some success in taking out one of the stinger sights, almost taking out the second. But Skippy had just enough guys there to stop that attack, even with the coordination between those three teammates. Spiff now looking like he wants to do a land assault as well. Does get all three King Raptors back from that fly over the top. So Nate's the one with the particle uplink cannon. He's got an airfield going, building some defenses. He's got the laser turret. Looks like he's mostly trying to do support for Hard Army and for Spiff. SS building an airfield as well. Scottagorn continuing to build defenses up there. He's now got some buggies, must have his palace up and going. Spiff continuing to bring his King Raptors over the top, trying to take out enough defenses that Hard Army can push through, but Skip's got a lot of units there, and one of them's heroic, so he's going to be able to clean up those Scorpion tanks pretty quickly. Must have called help from Mike, knowing that Spiff was bringing his planes over pretty much the same place every time. And Mike sends in a couple of Avengers. If Spiff tries it again, they're going to go down fast. So Mike's got the defenses up. Still hasn't captured the oils, but what's he working on? He has the war factory in the middle. And he has an airfield up as well. Skippy's completed his palace. The mountain has an internet center in the back, guarded by a Gatling cannon. And Scottagorn's getting some black markets up. So the particle uplink cannon is ready. Ready to be fired. Just a question where it's going to go. And Spiff places a beacon. I think Spiff's coordinating now with Pancake again to attack these defenses on the southern side. Pancake not able to move the laser. That's been a bit of a running joke in our group, whether it's easy to move the laser or impossible. People fall on both sides of that argument. Spiff bringing in those Humvees. But he coordinates the attack with his King Raptors, doesn't quite take the laser turret out, it's going to continue to fire. Just the fire base left, and a bunch of Rangers from those laser turrets. They drop 3 each when they go down, so I think it was the extra Rangers that did it for that attack. It was really well coordinated. Pancake brings in the last stealth fighter to take out the fire base, so there's really not much left there for defense, but that was all Spiff had for offense as well. Now bringing the Raptors over top. gonna take out the supply. But there's the Avengers. Looks like they all make it back. So up north, Scottagorn's assaulting SS's base. Must have felt that there really wasn't anything between him and the top of the hill. SS did have a small army of Crusaders and Avengers. The Avengers were effective at blocking some of those missiles. The Crusaders were able to take out a few Buggies. Now some Humvees come in, but even with those few Buggies going down, Scottagorn's got quite a few left over. Spiff still bringing planes over the top. That Avenger looks like it was pretty effective against them. Now bringing in a Humvee against 6 Rangers. And not able to quite get it done. I do remember Mike apologizing to Spiff at the end of the game on behalf of those Rangers, saying that there's no way those Rangers should have been able to take out that Humvee. But here we are. So SS smartly making missile defenders. Those are the right troop. If you only have a barracks left, that's the perfect troop to make to take out these Buggies. But then again, Scottagorn has the right answer for those missile defenders. He brings in a group of ambush rebels. They take out those missile defenders really fast. Pancake now sending stealth fighters over the top. Mike getting some of the brunt of Hard Army's pushes now down at the bottom. Looks like he just has Rangers sitting in Toxin and 1 Avenger left. I don't think that's going to do it against this veteran Scorpion tank. So the Hard Army plus Spiff do end up making a good push onto the hill, but in the meantime, Spiff has given up. I think he sold all of his buildings instead of just surrendering, which means his buildings are not going to go to his teammates. They're just off the map now. I do believe it was a combination of his first assault with Pancake not quite working how he wanted it to, and then the Humvee. Losing to the Rangers was what he said at the end was what did it for him. And Mike, the game before this, had just gotten done doing a quick early push on Spiff's base, and I believe he'd taken out Spiff in the first couple minutes of the game that time. So this was the night of Mike versus Spiff, and really, I don't think Spiff. We don't really know what he would have done later in this game. I don't think he was by any means defeated by Mike yet. Mike only had a couple of Avengers up front, but I think we can say Mike got the better of him this night. Now sending Auroras over the top, and they take out Nate's particle uplink cannon. So Pancake is now down 2 teammates. He's got a Hard Army, and that's it to help him out now. SS's base is pretty much gone, and Spiff elected to sell his buildings, so Pancake's going to see how long he can hold off 4 attackers at one time. With just 1 Hard Army to defend him. So the Mountain's got his economy rolling. He's bringing in Overlords over the middle, which are going to be great units for these Scorpion tanks that Hard Army keeps on bringing in. Looking at the economy now. Skippy. Well, SS is out now at this point. Scottagorn plenty of money. He doesn't know what to do with it all. I guess make more Buggies. That's probably the answer, right? Spiff's out. The Mountain using his resources well. You can see they're going up pretty quick. Pancake. A little bit of money to play with. And Mike has quite a bit of money as well. So Scottagorn's done moving through SS's base, is now going to come down here and harass Pancake, but Pancake smartly dropping a group of parachuters in right there in the mix. And it looks like that one Scud launcher from Hard Army took out probably 6, 7 buggies. Scottagorn's going to drive this one to the back of the base. Oh, Pancake forgets about it back there, but I don't think he gets any sort of luck with that. So between the Scud launcher and those Scorpion missiles, STM actually loses his overlords before they were able to make it up the hill. And Hard Army looks like they're gaining a little bit of ground here, but Skippy's got some forces moving in as well. A buggy, quad cannon. He's going to continue to harass this Hard Army. But I'm always amazed at how good Hard Army is at using those tunnels. They will pop troops in and out of those so fast. So Scottagorn's working on buggies. As a newer player, it's easier to just focus on one type of unit at once. It's easier to micro them that way. They all drive at the same speed. SDM has a good defense going. He's bringing in overlords as he can. Skippy's got a good mix of defensive buildings constantly going up and bringing in units as well. And Mike, it looks like, is now creating a laser tank and Avenger army. So he's going to be bringing in his first army here. Has the Southern Supply and has captured those oils.
Ready for engagement. Tactical lasers online.
Beacon there by Mike. Maybe he's got some sort of bomb to bring in, but that is a lot of troops in the back of Pancake's base. He's going to be making his first push down the hill with those laser tanks. This is the first time he's brought troops up to the front. He coordinates it with another parachute drop. Firing on the overlords, that's smart. And that parachute drop also distracts Scottagorn's buggies. They really should be firing on those laser tanks. Those are a lot more deadly against buggies than some rangers would be. And Scottagorn brings in another rebel ambush to deal with the infantry. Picks off the last laser tank. Gets the buggies out of range. But Pancake's troops do get the better of this rebel group. And now they've got an army from Mike, some troops from Skippy, and I'm guessing, thought the mountain might have some overlords ready again, but I do think he brought a big group over here to help Mike out when Hard Army drove some troops into his base. So, but STM creating a good economy back here in the back of his base. Skippy getting some black markets up and running. Mike has a super weapon of his own, has some supply drops. And Pancake is the real monster on the board at this moment. He's got 2, 3 ore factories going, bunch of supply drops, but the question is it enough to fend off 4 people at the same time? With only a Hard Army to help, and the Hard Army does tend to run out of steam after a while. This time he's bringing in those Avengers to help with these buggies. He knows what Scottagorn's strategy is, he knows how to counter it. The Avengers also have the dual purpose of taking out those A-10s. Otherwise, that could have been half the army gone right then and there. Mike's army trying to take out one GLA hole and just not able to with this little group of units. SDM now bringing in his Gatling tanks. I think these laser tanks are going to have a good time against them. They tend to punch through tank armies pretty quick. And Scottagorn trying to get in behind that army, hoping that Pancake doesn't have anything back here, but he does. He's got a large group of units back here in his base still. 4 stealth fighters circling the skies, just waiting for something to get close enough. And Scottagorn wants to keep his distance. There goes the last of the Gatling tanks. So, I guess the right side's going to gather their forces together for another push. Here's the particle uplink cannon from Mike. Pancake trying to drive his forces away, but then maybe accidentally drives them back into it. That was a very successful particle uplink cannon. Usually you see it chasing them around, doesn't take any of them out. I don't know how many tanks went out there, but it was a lot. Pancake, now seeing his laser tanks go down on this side, but trying to corner Scottagorn's buggies, trap them between the fighters, and he's bringing in a group of units back here. This time he did the parachute drop behind Scottagorn's buggies, trying to trap them in the middle between these two mountains. Scottagorn wants no part of it, tries to drive his buggies out of there, saving as many as he can. But Pancake's going to pick a few off here, so that was a really good strategy from Pancake. Now the mountains brought in more overlords, and I don't know if Pancake quite has the army to defend against them this time. He does have plenty of missile defenders in there, but we'll see how far these overlords get. These 4 teams have been trying to push up these 2 hills for over half the match already. That seems to be what they've been doing most of the match now. And what is Scottagorn scared of? Driving these buggies all the way back here. Doesn't want anything to do with this group of units now chasing him down. That is going to let the mountains overlords drive in, but man, Pancake just has incredible output. Or at least he did. It looks like somebody put some sort of super weapon in the back of his base, or general's abilities or something, so his once proud base just pumping out laser tanks. I think this might be just about the last of what Pancake can do. Yep, looks like he'll be able to stop this push from the mountain. He brought a bunch of troops over here and around. He probably figures might as well. I don't have much left. Let's see what I can do in the middle. But then his base got EMP'd. Scottagorn's got these rebels in the back of his base. He says, yeah, that's it, I'm done. I don't want 4 people dropping their general's abilities on me at the same time. I'm getting pummeled out here. Yeah, I'm done. So it's just these 4 players now left to take out Hard Army, like they've been trying to do all game. So Pancake really did a great job. Just him and the Hard Army fending off 4 people at once. It was a pretty heroic effort, but the writing's on the wall when you lose 2 teammates that early. Mike a little bit more successful with this group of laser tanks, finally able to bring them all the way up the hill, start destroying some buildings. That's what he's been trying to do for a while. But now going back to try to help clean up in the middle so that his teammates can bring up their troops at the same time. Toxin bomb maybe from Skippy. I think he's the only other GLA player. I don't think Scottagorn did that. Oh, there's another toxin bomb and a carpet bomb. But that's a lot of toxin. I don't think anyone's going in there for a while yet. And now we hear the nuke. Gonna be dropped right there on that tunnel. And we've got toxin over here on the left, we've got nuclear waste over here on the right, so this is just a no-go zone for a while. But luckily you can still get bombed by all sorts of stuff. The mountain's got some stronger troops, they can make it through there. Scottagorn tries to take the buggies in, finds out pretty quickly how fast they die to toxin. Yeah, the sight's better of it. Got some buggies from Skippy, another line of Gatling tanks. So looking at the final bases, looks pretty good. Skippy's looks good. SDM, quite a few hackers back there. Looks good. Scottagorn, still just a few black markets, but he had lots of oils, so he didn't really need all that much more anyways. And pretty soon here, Hard Army's gonna pack it up. And that's it.
You are victorious.
So looking at the stats, Scottagorn had that whole northern hill uncontested for the entirety of the game. Captured those oils really early, and with only 3 black markets, all those oils were able to really pump out a lot of economy for him. The mountain had a bunch of hackers going in the back, and they were well protected by those Gatling cannons. Buildings destroyed, Scottagorn was able to go through SS's base and assault Pancake's base as well. And so very effective with those buggies. Units destroyed. Wow, Hard Army. Had a lot of success in the middle. Usually you see that, I mean, they still lost more than they destroyed, so that's good. But the mountain, Skippy, responsible for the middle, and they were able to do their jobs really well. And units created, obviously Hard Army gets that, but then Scottagorn and STM pretty close after that. So that does it for February 6th. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.